Happy Thoughtful Thursday, everyone. This morning I was in a work meeting and my colleague was talking about the decision-making process that she's going through right now with her twin boys who are going to be going off to college in the fall. And one of their potential college choices is actually my undergrad alma mater. So it was neat kind of reminiscing with her and thinking about my school days. And it actually brought up a story in my head that I shared with her of when I was a freshman at college and brand new. It's so naive at a very big university, and I grew up in a tiny, tiny, tiny town. And I told her a story about how I had been completely unprepared to walk across a massive campus and was wearing a silly cotton skirt and flip-flops, and a rainstorm started, this huge storm, and just this downpour, and I was drenched and tried to walk across the street to my dorm room, and the road was flooded, and it ripped my flip-flops off of my feet and sent them flowing down the road, never to be seen again. And as I told her this story, it was such a lighthearted, fun story to share with her, and how I just felt like at the time the world was just collapsing over the top of my head, and I just remember sobbing my way all the way back to my dorm room and calling my mom and saying I just couldn't do it and I wanted to leave and come home, and it was such an interesting kind of perspective to have, to be able to share the story, and now to share it in just with laughter and fun and enjoyment of looking back at that time in my life. But in reality, at the time, it was it was kind of an Armageddon moment for me as an 18-year-old. And it just made me think about, with today's video, what I wanted to kind of get us thinking on is that the moments in our lives when we have felt like the world is literally caving in on us, and um, Tater is currently snoring, by the way, so that's what you're hearing in the background. Anyway, where we feel like the world is just falling in on us, and that nothing could ever possibly come out of that is positive, and how could we ever survive that moment? And then years down the road, it's something that we can look back on and tell over a cup of coffee and a smile, and tell that story. And it just gave me some good perspective to remember back to that time, and to think about all of the struggles that we experience now and that we'll experience in the future. And if we were able to just look on those current or future struggles with the realization that they too will pass, and someday we'll be able to tell them, if not with a smile, at least with some security and more perspective. So I wanted today to give you that to think on. What in your life right now is a struggle that maybe you could, if you took that perspective, if you stepped back a little bit, what in your life right now could you say, this too will pass, and someday I'll be able to talk about this over coffee with a friend?